Welcome back to DXB Today. Tonight we are talking about clean eating and farm to table, which leads to our next guest, who is perfect for this next segment, as she is the co-founder and the general manager at Below Farm, which grows specialty mushrooms in the UAE. Let's welcome to the sofa Liliana Slowinska. Liliana, thank you so much for being here and bringing in some fantastic mushrooms as well, we've seen. So tell us more about the mushroom revolution, because obviously it's been happening for centuries, but now it seems like it's taken a new wave.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me here. Mushrooms, indeed, they're ancient. It's a separate kingdom of fungi, all separate from plants and animals. And we're very blessed to be able to create this awareness here in the UAE and wider afield as well. We started growing in Abu Dhabi 4 years ago, and we have incorporated a lot of edible, delicious edible mushrooms as well as medicinal varieties. And we're really glad to be introducing people in the wider Middle East to this mushroom revolution, as you say, the shroom boom, also as it's known elsewhere.
Love it.
Liliana, it's fantastic and what you've brought in there. I'm interested within your business, your approach to having a circular economy within your business, and what your commitment is to that, and what are some of the initiatives you've put in place in that regard?
Absolutely. When we started off, we wanted to create zero waste circular business where everything that goes in is utilized and all the waste can be fed into the virtuous cycle of either our own processes or somebody else's. And I'm very pleased to say that we've largely succeeded. We've gone further upstream with our production of mushroom blocks. So basically the soil here that you see, the bottom part from which the mushrooms are growing from. What you see, what's inside this mycelium covered box that the reishi mushroom is growing from consists of predominantly upcycled waste palm leaves, which are an abundant source of lignocellulose material here in the desert. And actually it's a big problem because given the climatic conditions in the UAE, the palm trimmings, they don't actually naturally decompose, they are burned. So finding helpful use cases for the palm leaves is actually a really good idea. And there are a lot of interesting companies in this space, and we're very pleased to be one of them. We're also sourcing local wood, and we teach the mushrooms, very intelligent beings. We teach them how to consume these novel food sources. And with every generation, they actually grow better on the local substrate.
It must be fascinating for you to be at that development stage and to see the different forms that it's taken on and how it's consuming this, what you're doing. It's mind-blowing actually, and it's wonderful to know and see that, because I went to a place earlier and they were using and utilizing the dates, because obviously within the region there's a lot of dates, so they're using the date fiber.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's I love what you're doing here. It's really good.
Thank you.
So Liliana, I mentioned to you earlier, I attempted to grow mushrooms myself, but in my house in the UK, and it was a great success. I really enjoyed doing it. I had a grow kit, and afterwards I ate these incredible mushrooms. And I'm just really interested to know, like, why mushrooms? Like, why did you decide to go down the mushroom avenue, and how are you encouraging people to incorporate mushrooms into their diet, into their everyday life?
Absolutely. So mushrooms, because they have been long forgotten, and as I mentioned, they're a third kingdom of life, and I just find it really sad that currently we only know about 5 to maybe 10% of mushroom species worldwide. So
are they 5 to 10% of edible mushrooms, or you're talking
all
whole?
known mushrooms? So there's so much more that we humans just don't know what's out there. So we feel that someone needs to really take on the ambassador role and speak for the mushrooms, since they cannot speak for themselves. And I find the recent trend of mushrooms being incorporated in longevity, in immunity boosting superfoods, It's really going the right direction, and a lot of people are taking notice and incorporating these amazing food sources into their diets.
Yeah, I see so much tea, that's made from mushrooms and everything happening, all these viral trends and everything, and it's got great benefits.
And I want to ask, because we talked about locally grown mushrooms now that you're trying to grow them here in the UAE. How does that change the flavor or freshness compared to the import one? Because we're so used to getting mushrooms from the supermarket that are imported from somewhere, because in our heads, mushrooms are grown in forests or on trunks of trees, which we don't have much of here.
You're very right. Mushrooms grow on basically either wood, that we call those primary decomposers, so like the ones we have here. There are also the secondary decomposers like the champignon, the button mushroom varieties. And you're very right. When they come from overseas, they're usually been incurring food miles along the way. They have been in different storage facilities, and very often they're vacuum packed and they're covered with foil. So because we're here, we're literally just 2 hours down the road from Abu Dhabi and from Dubai, and 1 hour into Abu Dhabi, we're able to deliver them super fresh. We don't have to actually decluster them. For example, the oysters that you see up front, these are coming in full clusters, and so we just from harvest to plate is 2 hours, or basically less than a day. And we can definitely see the nutritional benefits are increased thanks to the mushroom simply not being flown or shipped over crazy long distances.
Amazing. Liliana, I know that you've actually got a presence in Spinneys. How have customers and chefs alike responded to you having that presence and being here in the region?
Oh, they love it. They love it. It's been a massive success, especially chefs. Chefs love being listened to, and they love being able to find novel ingredients and experiments. So we've been able to cater to that desire of chefs. And we have since teamed up with a fine dining distributor to support us, kind of work as our sales and logistics extension that caters to all the fine dining establishments in the UAE.
So Liliana, we all love mushrooms here.
Yes,
we love eating mushrooms. We love
Yes.
to consume them. But there's a lot of children who are hesitant to try mushrooms. So how, for viewers
Including
at home,
my own.
Oh, amazing. So do you have some tips and tricks to incorporate mushrooms into their diet from an early stage so that they get into the clean living and clean lifestyle?
Very good questions. I think you have to start them young, or at least try. For me and my kids, it's 50-50. My daughter loves looking at them, touching them and playing with them, but she's not putting them in her mouth. My son is the opposite. He absolutely devours mushroom from as young as 18 months of age. So I think what you can do is try an introductory mushroom, let's say. Oyster mushroom is kind of mushroom 101, we like to say, as in the gourmet niche category. I also suggest that people kind of cook it a little bit differently, maybe not boil, just saute with oil, not move it too much. So there are a couple of techniques that really enhance the flavor profile, and we often find that people who say, well, I don't like mushrooms, usually there are two reasons why they say that. It's because they've
The
not
texture and the slimy,
but also it becomes slimy because it's not stored properly in the fridge, or it's not been cooked properly. So I think we feel we have to educate quite a lot, which we do actively through social media channels, our presence at Gulf Food and cooking shows, etc. So yes, I think there are many different ways to incorporate. I would also suggest the lion's mane, so the brain-like looking mushroom, which is really good for your cognitive. Everybody needs a little boost of cognitive enhancement these days. We find that these are perfect as kind of deep fried vegan chicken nuggets, vegan nuggets. Yeah, so that's really, really fun ways to incorporate them into children's
I'm
diet.
interested in the nutrition side of things from from a variety type of mushrooms, right? Because when I go to the supermarket and buy like the champignon button mushroom, they don't look anything like your beautiful mushrooms here. But are there different nutritional benefits of the different varieties? And you mentioned the lion's mane there. Like, what are they? Is that a specific mushroom type? And what are those nutrition benefits?
Yes, so mushrooms are as varied as plants and animals. So they definitely have their own unique superpowers. The one here, the antler-like mushroom is a reishi, so an immortality longevity mushroom, long known in Chinese traditional medicine for its benefits. You could also say that there's kind of common denominator across these mushrooms is that they actually have immunomodulating properties. So they improve your immune response. They can also help you fight infections and make you stronger by kind of being a bit of like a vaccine, so to speak. So they have a very strong properties in that regard, and more kind of nutritionally, just kind of feeling your tummy is they're very good in source of fiber. They contain all of the amino acids, and they have plenty of vitamins, and they actually sometimes contain vitamin D. You might have noticed with the champignons, it says on the box that they have vitamin D, is because they are exposed to sun and they tan just like us. So we often say that mushrooms are really shouldn't be in the produce category because they're not plants. They're far more like us because they do tan, and also they when they're growing, they're releasing CO2. So
This
just
is
like us.
absolutely fascinating, right? Learning and growing mushrooms in our bodies as well, because this is it's something. It's a living organism. That's the thing. I've taken chaga mushroom recently as well. Would you say that's a good one?
Yeah, it is. We just don't cultivate it. It has to be found in the wild. I mean, sure, there are scientists hard at work, but at this point in time, it can only be found in the forest.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's
So many different varieties, right? Liliana, this is fascinating. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure, and we'll definitely be consuming some of these later, I think. I hope. And Ryan, thank you so much as well for being here. It's been a pleasure and an honour.
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, see you again soon.